Good morning, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 10:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. This is not financial advice, and the video is educational only. Twitter.com link in the description below the video. If you want to click on that, you'll get all of my intraday updates between this video and tomorrow's video, as well as if you want to stay up to date with all of my latest videos, which I do this one once a day. You'll be able to subscribe to this channel and then click the bell, and you'll be notified when the next RLC video comes out. By the way, I do 2 other videos a day, unrelated to RLC, but to 2 other cryptos. Feel free to explore that as well. All right, so my current allocation, this is where I'm positioned. These were my entry points through time. None of these were done. These were all done at different points in time, different days, at the various sizes. I'm in at an average cost basis. My average buy price is a little over $5. Now let's go into this real quickly. I want everyone to understand. iExec equals Bitcoin multiplied by non-fiat related. What does this mean? RLC Bitcoin has nothing to do with fiat currency. In fact, it's a globally identifiable currency, Bitcoin. So RLC's strength to Bitcoin does not think about currency. It just looks at its strength to Bitcoin. And everyone needs to understand this. In every equation, if you replace this with RLC Euro and this with BTC Euro, this is the same number in every which case. So this is very important to understand that this is the globally identifiable strength of RLC, because it disregards what? It disregards fiat currency and is used to find out its strength relative to a truly fixed supply of Bitcoin. Anyway, I'm going to go into the markets because there's a lot going on. We had a nice rally yesterday, and we pulled back. Here's that green line that we continue to look at. It feels like we're back in this range here, in between the yellow line and the green line. Also, it feels like there's a bit of resistance. If you look at the top part here, if I was to draw a line, it looks like, if you drew the line, it was resistance, but we could have turned the corner, and it's hard to tell right now. But if I did one of these, it looks like we might bounce off this line again and back up. Hard to say. So we're going to keep track of this, but this is a diagonal line of resistance, and it looks to have turned into support, and maybe that was what helped propel that rally yesterday. But again, we hit that green line, and that's where we pulled back. We actually went above it, but like I always say, if you can't stay over the line long enough, like a day or two, then chances are it's probably a dud. So it could have been a dud, and I'm not worried about that because I'm overall bullish. We're still on our trend up, and as I've mentioned, better to be over this line because at some point these 2 lines will intersect sometime in August. Got a couple of months from now for that, but we want to be over the yellow line as much as we can to hit that target right squarely in the heart at 14. Now let's go over to the RLC Bitcoin pair. As you can see, we're still in between this channel, between the, what I would call support resistance line. So right now we made a nice pull up and we came right back down. So we failed at the RLC Bitcoin line more dramatically. So we didn't get past that. This is probably what kicked into the RLC US dollar pair. Now where are we headed here? It's hard to say. I mean, we could go as low as 81.68 again, or we could go back up here. Right now, this line seems to be demonstrating a solid line of resistance. However, this resistance line is shorter term than these 2 lines that are running in the horizontal plane here. So we have to see how this works out. This thing ends sometime at the end of June, the June 23rd, which is about a week away. So we might just be in this range here for the next week or so. That being said, if we can blast past here and start a resumption upward, that would be fantastic. And again, this is the RLC Bitcoin pair. Bitcoin right now is running at 39,000. It's running a little cool right now relative to where we've been. Now, Bitcoin is kind of popped in the range. This was the range that we wanted to be in. It was kind of hanging around that 40,000 range for a bit. We consolidated for a proper day. Took a little bit of a pullback. It looks like we're range bound in this area right now. Hard to say which way this is going to go exactly. We're probably going to stay around 38,000 is my view. That being said, a bunch of things going on in Bitcoin. So why don't we go into Bitcoin and then we'll go into iExec in a second, because there's more news on iExec that I'd like to run through. Anyway, just quickly on Bitcoin, Italy regulators seeing issues with unregulated. Okay, so Italy is going to try to regulate Bitcoin. They're not killing it. They're just regulating it. And I don't think regulation is bad for Bitcoin. I think it cleans it up. And I think that cleanup will help, because look at our own financial stock markets. They are very highly regulated in every which way. And yet trillions and trillions of dollars flow through that capital market like you wouldn't believe. Same with the bond market, highly, highly regulated. Look at this. Like, you know, I consider like all the anecdotal references about regulation being bad for cryptos. I disagree, and I couldn't disagree with that more, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. I think DeFi will probably get hit squarely. I think that's probably an area where, you know, there will probably be a lot more regulation in that and towards that. And then just the simple client regulation like KYC, know your client, that kind of stuff. So look over here in Tunisia, right across the river from Sicily. Tunisian minister says he plans to decriminalize the buying of Bitcoin. This is the same direction that happened with the folks in India, right? So India did the same thing. They were like anti-Bitcoin. Now they're opening it up. And this is going to be a continual opening of people's minds towards the crypto world. So looking forward to that. Now, tomorrow in France, I think in France, I'm not sure where it's going to be, but I can tell you that there's an interview at 9 o'clock in France, French time. And I'd have to figure that out in U.S. time. I'd imagine that's probably at 2100 France. It would probably be around 5 or 6 maybe U.S. time. I'll tweet that out later, but know that the CEO is going to be talking on an interview with this podcast, and it should be interesting in a. I'm not sure what the name of the podcast is. It looks like it's called Crypto Visions, but I'll tweet this. I'll make sure I put this in the description of the video when I push this video out onto YouTube, so you'll be able to get this as well. But I think it would be very interesting to hear what, you know, where they're thinking of going, the direction they're going, and you know, any new collaborations and potential you know, new adoption that's happening within the iExec RLC world. So anyway, look for that, and we'll catch up later. Take care. Have a good day.